started here today. Cool. All right, so for those of you who do not know me, I'm Sam Jackson. So my first title, excuse me, choking the first sentence. My first title is Director of Innovation Technology for the Georgia Lacey Group. So I work with 3 market centers just north of Atlanta Partners. So I work with Roswell, Alpharetta, and Chat North, and I kind of manage and lead our technology department there. And then on top of that, I'm also a MAPS coach that focuses on technology. So if you know anyone that's looking to grow their business through command and through technology, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help and coach them. But today we're going to dig into your first Google ad. And I like to name this class Your First Google Ad because I know that a lot of agents are attracted to that because just show of hands, either digitally or if you want to raise it physically in person. How many of you have actually run a Google ad before? Danny, I see. 1. Right. And I love Google. Like I come from a marketing background. That's actually like my first run in real estate was working for a luxury home builder and then a top producer in Pittsburgh. Google was really one of our favorite places to advertise. And the reason for that is it's one of the sweetest spots that you can really grow your business with people that are kind of really waving their hand and saying, hey, I have a real estate need. And we're going to dig into that here into a little bit, but I just kind of want to kind of set expectations for this class. I feed off of interaction. So if you have questions, comments, please interrupt me. Otherwise, I just start talking and I don't stop. So if you have a question, you need to go back. This is what this like workshop style class is for. If you need more time, let me know. The first little bit of this class is going to be the hardest. The hardest part of setting up Google Ads is whenever we're actually on Google. Setting up and creating your Google advertising account is the hardest part. We're going to click some really tiny buttons. It's going to be a little bit weird. If you need help, let me know. I'd be more than happy to pause there. The good news is that when we get into command, it's so easy. It's so easy once we get inside of command. So I'm going to walk you through those things today, but we're going to get started talking about online leads. Now, this is where I'm going to ask for interaction. I've broken down online leads essentially into 3 buckets. When you think about all the different places that we can get leads in the physical world, whether it's door knocking or calling for sale by owners and expireds, it's limitless on the places that we can get leads. When it comes to online or the internet, there's only 3 places that we can get leads. Anyone have any idea in where they are, what they are? And you go ahead and say Google. That's the obvious one, right?
Facebook, Google, Nextdoor.
You got 2 of the buckets.
Instagram.
Still 2 of the buckets. Yeah, you're right though. So if you want to, you can draw along with me, and I'm no mercy. I'm going to draw for you today. I apologize already, but go ahead and draw 3 circles on your piece of paper. And you can do those kind of horizontally. Should look something like this. Okay. Over on the left-hand side. Actually, let's leave that one blank. That's the bucket y'all didn't get. In the middle, let's go ahead and put Google. So in your middle circle, just go ahead and put Google. Now, I used to teach this class like years ago, and I would call that middle bucket or circle, I would call that internet search. But let's be real, nobody goes to bing.com or yahoo.com. It's Google, right? Like that's the one that goes. But we can get leads from people searching homes for sale or best realtor in or whatever they're looking for, but they're searching something online on Google. Now, y'all nailed the second bucket, or really my third bucket, which is what we call social media. That's my last bucket all the way on the right, social media. Now, typically I just call that Facebook, but yeah, you're right. It could be Nextdoor, it could be Instagram, but any of those buckets that we just call social media, right?
The social media, you're going to call that YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. YouTube's kind of funny. It's kind of in between Google and social media, but I'd probably put that more so in the social media bucket. Because when you really boil it down, what's so different about Instagram to YouTube other than the website you go to? We're giving people video content. But this third bucket, or really my first bucket that we talk about, and I'm going to go ahead and change colored pens here. I'm going to do this in brown because it resembles the color that I think of this company. These are your search websites, or your search listing websites specifically. What is the most popular search listing website that we often have to get our clients off of,
Zillow.
So,
right? It's essentially Zillow. You can throw in realtor.com, you can throw in kw.com, you can throw in your own personal website, but when we boil down these 3 lead generation sources online, we get them because they're looking at houses, we get them because they're searching for areas, or we get them because they go, ooh, look, a pretty house, then become a lead. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this down for a second. Is there anyone here that works at a very, very high level with door knocking or for sale by owners or expired listings? Is there anyone that's your main form of lead generation? I'll take this as a no then. Okay. All right, let's just walk through this though. At Keller Williams, especially for those who go into productivity coaching, we preach a lot of when you're first getting started, we want you to go after for sale by owners and expired listings. Why?
raising their hands.
They're doing way more than raising their hands. They literally have a sign in their front lawn, right? Like you're right. They are waving their hands, but like they physically have a sign in the yard. Now, one of them says, I have a sign in my yard and I'm going to sell this house myself. The other one has a sign in the yard that says, hey, I do trust real estate agents, but this one failed me. Now, what do we know about when we call for sale by owners? What is their biggest pain point? What is their objection, if you will? Commission, right? It's either commission, and you can kind of loosely tie that back to they don't find value in a real estate agent, which is probably tied to their commission. What about an expired listing? What's their biggest objection on whenever you call those people?
It didn't work the first time, so why should I try again?
Yeah, you're making up for some other agent's I don't want to call it malpractice, but like they didn't do the job. Now, for those of you who have called both of those groups, can you use the same script?
No.
They both have a sign in the yard, and yet I know that their objections are very, very different. And I have to adjust my script and I have to adjust my dialogue every time I call those people. Now, luckily, we're talking about a Google class here today, so I don't have to go through the TSPA, all the nonsense of do not call. You guys know that stuff. But the most important thing here is when it comes to online leads, whenever I hear agents say like, hey, I got Facebook leads and they were bad, I'm going to guess that they took a for sale by owner script and tried to use it on an expired listing. Right? We didn't adjust our practice for where the lead is coming from. So I want you to be really, really mindful, and why I want you to draw these out. What assumptions can we make about somebody who's maybe on a website like Zillow, or let's just say kw.com? You're getting a lead from a listing website. People are looking at actual houses. What assumptions can we make about those folks?
They're interested in buying or selling a home.
Yeah. So Hank, that's another way of just saying like, they've done their research, right? They're probably pretty well educated on where they're at in the buying or selling process. What do you have, Danny? What do you have to add to that?
I don't think so. I think with Zillow, they're just starting the process. That's where everyone goes. And most of them on Zillow are looking to buy, maybe not sell.
I'm so glad you said that. I was not even prepared to talk about this today. But let's think about that too. That's another really, really important thing that I think that we need to have a mindset shift with. Did anybody recently purchase a house? Better yet, has anyone recently relocated from like another city? No one. Okay. Has anyone recently bought a car? Y'all have not made any purchases since COVID, like anything? Someone help
We're
me out.
all poor real estate agents. We don't have any money.
I bought an investment property, my first investment property last year.
All right, I love that, and that probably doesn't help me for this
Okay.
analogy. All right, well, think
investment property this year.
yeah. Well, let's think about this. Let's think about the last time that you made a major purchase, and I'll use a car for an example because I think this one resonates to home buying, and that's not because I'm comparing real estate agents to used car salesmen. That's not the case here. Let's just pretend that you're all going to go out and buy your dream car right now. Let's pretend like let's completely take off our realtor hat, and I want you to do this because like I realize this works. Everyone, take off your imaginary realtor hat for me and just set it aside for a minute. And I can see if you're doing it or not doing it. It's okay. All right. We are consumers, right? Like, although we are normally realtors, we are consumers on a frequent basis. Let's imagine that you were going to go purchase a vehicle tomorrow. How do you show up as a lead in that space?
Just looking,
You show up though as a buyer, right?
right.
Whenever I go to a car dealership, and I'm currently in the process of researching the next vehicle I want, every single car dealership and every ad that I click, every time I download a new app to look at cars, I'm showing up as a buyer. Now, where I'm at in the process, that may be different, but like I'm showing up as a buyer. I know 100% I am not keeping my 2013 beat up Honda CRV. I'm not keeping it. I'm either trading it in, but really I'm going to use the S word, sell it, right? So in the world of car dealerships, I'm showing up as a buyer who also has a house to sell. It is 100% the same thing with real estate. Your leads that show up online, more times than not, are going to show up as a buyer online, and they will most likely have something else to sell too. And I can say that's probably more true with real estate than it is cars, because despite how far we've evolved from being cavemen and cavewomen, we still have shelter at the top of our list of things that we need to survive. We have this like caveman DNA thing that snaps off that says, oh snap, I'm at risk of being homeless. I need to address that before anything else. And you'll see, again, people show up to buy a house before they have any inclination of that they're a seller. Buyers are great online because most people that are showing up as buyers are truly sellers. Think about that and this is why I asked if you relocate and maybe you work with clients who relocate. When people relocate because of work, per se, what's the first thing they do? They go to the other city that they're being relocated to, they find an agent, and they secure their next housing before they realize or before they address that they have a listing in whatever city they're moving from. The pain of being homeless in another foreign, like scary place kicks off that caveman DNA brain. And we have to address housing first there before we address that we're a seller here in our own state. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. All right. So let's go back to these three buckets. So people show up inside of Zillow or some other website. It is pretty fair to say that they are more educated than the other two buckets. Now, there are definitely 100% going to be discrepancies with all of these. This is not a law that says that every Zillow lead that you have is going to be more educated than every Facebook lead you get and vice versa. You're going to have outliers and that's okay. But generally, we're going to say people who are searching listings, who are actually looking at photos, favoriting properties and using those search listing websites in the true order of this process are more educated. They have it mostly narrowed down to how far away they want to be from their commute time, what school district they want to be in, even maybe what cul-de-sac they want to live on. Now, one of the downsides to this bucket in particular of listings or listing websites, how much do those leads cost us as real estate agents?
35%.
35%. We used to be able to say a couple $100 a month per zip code. That game's changed. I wish we had that game back. I would take that kind of expensive all day long, but now we're talking potentially tens of thousands of dollars, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of the lifetime of a lead. Oh yeah, and by the way, the second you close that lead, you're now competing again for it, like immediately. Let's jump to social media. How do you get a social media lead? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever you want to call it, but how do you typically get a lead from social media?
Giving something of value.
Maybe, yeah. Now, we still have our consumer hat on.
Oh,
No, that's okay. No, I put it back on for you. You're good. We have our consumer hat on. How does someone, like, what is the act that a person does to become a Facebook lead?
They have to contact you, respond to a post or an ad or DM you.
I love that, Hank. I wish this is the case. Do you know what really happens though? Someone opens up their Facebook app and they're maybe at work, maybe not. They're scrolling through and thumbing through. They go, ooh, look, a pretty house. And they just become a lead. I'm making up this stat, don't quote me on this, but there's a 50% chance they're probably on the toilet while they do it. Facebook, social media, what separates it from the other two buckets is that it's disruptive marketing. Nobody went to Facebook to go look for houses. We showed up in their time. We disrupted their timeline.
It seems
They went
like
there for
it's-
another reason.
It seems like it's like mindless clicking, because I call them and they'll say, what are you talking, what are you talking about? What ad? What house?"
Exactly. That's why I said, right? Like, we got to use different scripts with each of these buckets. Now, your search, like your Zillows, you could use whatever script you're used to. That's your speed to lead. Hey, this is Sam Jackson, Keller Williams. I saw you looking at some properties on Zillow or my KW website, preferably. Just kind of wondering what caught your attention. Can I help you look for your houses? What are you looking for? Yada, yada, yada. Open-ended questions. It's great. With Facebook, on the opposite end of that spectrum, when you get one of those online leads in social media, it's, hey, this is Sam Jackson. I'm running an ad for a property in Brookhaven. You probably don't even realize you clicked on it, but I got your information from Facebook. What's going on? I'm like Matthew McConaughey chill whenever I call a Facebook lead, and I'm not that cool. But we know their urgency is like, we disrupted them, right? They may have been on the toilet literally when they became a lead. So I'm not going to go into this saying, hey, this is Sam Jackson, Keller Williams. I saw you clicked on my ad for my house. Do you want me to go take a look at it today? They're going to say, who the heck are you? What? I'm not looking at properties. It's going to be real chill with them. Now, Google, why I put it in the middle of these three buckets? I call it the Goldilocks of leads. I love Google. And the reason for that is, like with social media, I kind of skipped this part. Those leads are dirt cheap. The last ad that I ran on Facebook, I got leads for 66 cents each. I can turn 66 cents. I need Marty Miller to finish that statement for me. If I can turn 66 cents into a $10,000 commission check, that's like alchemy. It takes time, it takes follow-up, but with Google, it's the Goldilocks because it's not nearly as expensive as those Zillow leads. It's not costing me tens of thousands of dollars. It's right around the same price as a social media lead. I'm paying roughly the same amount of money to get a Facebook lead, and yet I'm not disrupting them. People don't go to Google by mistake and search homes for sale and accidentally become my lead.
Right.
To Danny's point and to Hank's point earlier, they're either waving their hand or essentially doing the digital version of putting a sign up. Now, I was telling Danny this before class today. Here's the thing that I think trips up a lot of agents. The most important thing with Google, though, is it does not have its own form of capturing leads. Zillow or your KW website has a spot that says contact the agent. With our Facebook, when people click on our ad, we capture their information right there on the spot. With Google, we're missing that piece. You must have a really strong website to capture your leads. We're going to create an ad that's going to direct people to your website, and it's really up to your website to finish the job.
What is a strong website like?
Preferably, I like the command ones. Because we do lead generation and we do that lead capturing when it makes sense. Have you ever, and if you're using these sites, I apologize, but maybe this is a wake-up call. Have you ever been to another agent's site and the second you clicked on a property, a form popped up that made you register? What normally happens as a consumer?
Click off.
They click off or they copy the address that you kind of gave them and they go to Zillow. It's too pushy. It's the same version of like whenever I go into like a, man, it's been a while, but like when I go into Macy's and the salesperson comes up, is this going to help you? Then no, just looking. But in this case, I'm not looking, I'm running, I'm going to another store. It's not going to bug me, the salesperson. So just be mindful of that. So with the command websites, we throw that lead generation or that lead capture form up when it makes sense. When they favorite a property, when they ask for more information, when they put in their commute times is another place in which we ask for the information. We're basically building up whenever they're looking to build a profile, that's when we're asking to help them. I love the command sites for this. And again, another wake-up call for maybe some agent who needs to hear this, and it may not be anyone in this room, but maybe someone watching the recording. The number one thing that your clients or potential clients are looking for when they go to a website, the search bar and pictures. They don't need your content. That's why when you look at the new command websites, they're like, we're not built out that way. They probably won't be built out that way. You'll see some enhanced branding, but NAR tells us, and I trust NAR, a big search bar, lots of pictures. We got that. Cool. All right, you ready to get into the nitty gritty? Any questions on the 3 buckets?
As far
Alberto,
as,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, when you said the command website, you're talking about the command website that we all have access to, right? The one that we configured to our own.
Yeah, the your.kw.com one. Yep,
Gotcha. Okay.
yep, exactly.
as far as the scripts, when they come in, I've been using, hey, Sam, my marketing team suggested I give you a call about a home. How can I help you?
I like
That
that.
way, if it's Google, if it's Facebook, and then if they ask, I don't know.
Yeah. And test that, right? Like, don't be afraid to be weird. You may find a script that no one else is using. There's no fear in that. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and share my screen. And this is, just as often as we say, are you on mute? Can y'all see my screen? The second most used phrase in Zoom. Cool. All right.
Yes.
So we're going to start this whole process by going to Google. And you can go to ads.google.com, like I have up here, ads.google.com. Or if you just go to Google and search the word Google Ads, it'll take you here as well. Now, here's the most important thing that you need to hear during this step right now. We're gonna basically create an advertising account with Google. You cannot use your @KW Google account. This must be a personal Google account. Okay. So if you don't have a personal Google account, I'm going to hit the sign in or start now button, but basically I'm just going to create an account. But you have to have a personal Gmail, personal Google account for this. Okay. I see a facial expression there, Chris. What's going on?
Nothing, I'm signing in and it just crashed on me for some reason, but I'll get to it.
All right. This is the point that probably slows down the entire class. I'm okay with that. If you are stuck, let me know, because this is probably the most important thing. When we get to command, it's smooth sailing. If you need help, let me know. Okay. But try and follow along here. I'm going to take my time with this. I'm going to click the Start Now button up here in the top right-hand corner. This is going to allow me to essentially, this is from previous classes, so if you don't have these, don't worry. But I'm going to click this new Google Ads account. All right, let me back out a little bit. I just noticed that Google automatically logged me in. So let's do this. If you have a personal Google account, the best approach here would probably hit the sign in button. So if you have a personal Gmail, personal Google account, go ahead and hit sign in. For the sake of today's class, I'm going to use my personal Gmail account. You'll see it up here. But is everyone seeing a screen similar to mine right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone stuck? Okay. I'm going to click, for the sake of today's class, new Google Ads account. This should take me into essentially like a Google screen here next. I'm going to walk you through this.
I have a question.
Yes.
I used to have another business, and when I click sign in, it automatically signed me in, and it has the name of the other business in there. Is that going to be an issue?
No, it should not be an issue.
Okay.
It should not. It may make sense to just clean it out, maybe do a fresh one, just to I don't think there's going to be a problem, but I can guarantee you will not have a problem if we do a new one.
Okay.
Okay. Does everyone see this screen that I have here now? Okay. What do you see then if you don't see the screen?
I'm seeing set up your campaign quickly by linking accounts.
I'm linking
Okay.
accounts.
Yeah, I guess I already set this up. So when I signed in, it says, what do you want to promote? And my options are business profile or website.
Okay. The most important thing on this entire screen, or maybe the screen that you're on, do
Mhm.
you see a button that says switch to expert mode anywhere on that screen?
Yes.
Okay, I don't care what your screen looks like. As long as you have this button that says switch to expert mode somewhere on your screen, that's the button we're going to click.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Does everyone have this tiny little switch to expert mode button?
Mine just shows my dashboard because like I said, I'm a Google.
Yeah, you're ahead of us then. Okay,
Okay.
you're good. You're good.
Right.
Mine is telling me to reactivate my account.
Reactivate your account. Okay. You may want to do that then. You may just want to follow those prompts. Okay. Anyone else see something different? Okay. Hank, let me know if you're good. I'm going to go ahead and click this button here. Okay. So this is-
I'll catch up. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the ironic part, right? This is our very first Google ad, and yet we're gonna click this button that says switch to expert mode. I love the irony of this button. Love it. But what this does is like basically what you're seeing right now is that we're creating an ads account. And because Google wants our money, they're immediately gonna create an account. They're gonna create an ad for us, and we don't wanna do that. We basically just wanna set up our account, put our credit card in and leave, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click this switch to expert mode button. And Danny, your screen may start to look a little bit more like this, but we're not done yet. So if you see this screen, we're in good shape. We're still not going to click any of those big boxes because again, Google wants our money and we're not doing that. What I'm looking for again is this really, really tiny link that says create an account without a campaign. So if you see this tiny little button down here that says create an account without a campaign, that's the one we're going to click. How we doing? All right, got a thumbs up from Chris, Alberto. All right, Teresa with the digital thumbs up, love it. Cool. Joanne, thank you. All right. All right, all right. Lisa, that was a half believable thumbs up. I'll believe you. Okay. All right, so we're gonna click this button that says create an account without a campaign. Now, this part's gonna be fun. This is basically, it should pull up your local computer data, but it's going to just fact check that your billing country is the US, you're on the Eastern time zone for New York time, and you're transacting in US dollars. That should be the default unless you're doing something else kind of crazy. Feel free to hit submit here. This is good. Joanne, I see a hand. What do you got?
Yeah, mine says Georgia Mountain Time, New York time. I don't see where it says like Eastern time anywhere.
New York time's fine. Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
Okay, just want to make
That's
sure.
the time zone is New York, so
Okay, cool.
cool. I never understood time zones. I just always look for the city. Yeah. Cool. So we're gonna hit submit then. And then we're actually in the point where you can go ahead and hit explore your account. All right. Now, the cool thing is congratulations, y'all have now officially set up a Google Ads account. So give yourselves a digital applause or a real one if you need to. We have one more step inside of Google, and then this whole thing gets so much easier, I promise, okay? The next thing that we have to do is we just have to put our credit card on file. Because even though we're running ads inside of Command, Google's going to take the payment directly. KW doesn't play the middleman with Google. So what you need to do is just basically, we're going to click on your settings. So we're going to go on tools and settings up here in the very top. It's the thing that looks like a wrench. And then over on the right on that menu, you have billing. So underneath billing, we're going to go to settings. And this is the part where I do a little finger cross that my credit card doesn't pop up in front of all you. Cool. PayPal. So mine's already connected, but this is the point where you're going to come in here and add your credit card, add your payment, or like I choose to do my ads through PayPal. So go ahead and take, we'll take 2 minutes here. Go ahead and put your credit card in or put your log into PayPal. And while the group is doing that, if you have any questions or got stuck, please let me know.
I do have one question. I see this like random phone number at the top right where I don't know where that goes. Is that
Yeah.
normal? I see yours is different too.
Yeah, you know what's so stupid is that's not even a telephone number. So that's your Google Ads number, and they, for whatever reason, they made it 10 digits to confuse.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we will need that number. You don't need to copy it or anything, but yeah, it's actually kind of handy. That's your Google Ads account number.
Okay.
So for me, when I was in the home, I guess in the main page that before we went to billing, It said campaign was started today at 3:25.
Okay, we don't want to do that at 3:25. We may have missed the button and we may have clicked on one of those
Should I
boxes.
discard that?
Yeah, I would go in there and see if you can shut it off. You should be able to click on like the Google Ads button. And there should be like a bubble that you can check that says like active to inactive.
Okay, I discarded it. Hopefully that works.
We can check after class if you want to. You will get charged a lot by Google. We don't want that to happen.
Okay,
They like to keep things on auto renew and like you'll continuously get charged until you get that fixed.
okay.
So we'll make sure that didn't happen. Cool. All right. We'll give it 30 more seconds for those that need to put their credit card or payment in, and we'll be good. I'm gonna go ahead and hit submit because mine's okay there. I'm happy with it. Okay. Actually, out of date, I gotta fix that. All right, cool. Are we all okay to move to command?
Yep.
Okay. I heard some yeps, so I just want to make sure there are no no's. Cool.
Mine says pending approval.
Yep.
Is that,
That's okay.
Okay.
Yep, mine does too.
okay,
That's just basically, they're gonna just probably double check your credit card. Okay. You will see here, there is a little note from Google that tells you that if you were to run ads on Google, this is how they work. You'll be charged when your balance reaches $350 for 30 days. So they basically bill you $350 a month when you do ads through Google. We're not going to do that. We're going to be paying one ad at a time through command. So I have had this happen to where I've taught this class. Somebody missed the button. They got charged like $350. They called me. If that happens to you, please call me. Ideally, we don't want to have an ad running on Google. We want to do it through command, but let me know if you run into any problems. I'd be more than happy to help you through that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and leave. I'm going to go to command. And I just realized that I probably need to log out of somebody else's accounts. Yep. Need to go into mine, but we're going to jump into command. I'm going to go ahead and click sign in here. So Joanne, it was $350 every 30 days, but that's only if you were running ads on Google outside of KW. We're going to be doing this inside of command. You're going to set your own budget. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, cool. So the next thing that we need to do, we need to jump inside of your settings inside of command. And we just need to make sure that now that we've created that Google account, we need to tie it to command. Okay. So we're going to go click on your name in the top right-hand corner, and we're going to go to settings. And some of you should be familiar with this spot. This is where you see like your Facebook connections and everything else. But we're going to scroll through here, and underneath marketing automation, you're going to see the Google AdWords space that you probably never paid attention to before. But now that you have an account, we're going to go ahead and connect it. It's the thing that looks like an A with a Google text, but Google AdWords. You're going to scroll down underneath marketing automation and connect account. Now, this should have you basically log into your personal Gmail account. And when you do this, you're going to see that Google AdWords number that looked like a telephone number pop up. It's going to have me go through the part of accepting Keller Cloud and all those things there. Just agree to them. And that's going to have me pick the account that I created. Now, I've taught this class 5 times now, so now I have 5 Google Ads accounts. You should hopefully have 1, or pick the one that has your credit card attached to it. For me, I know that's my first one. If you need a reference, you can always go back to your Google Ads. I think it was Chris that had mentioned what's that, or actually X'd out of it. That 10-digit number that we had before, that's what this is here. So I know mine is the one that has, actually I can use this one too, it doesn't matter. But this one has a credit card attached to it. And hit continue. Who did I lose with that? All right, Chris.
So I hit connect account, I hit okay, signed into it and allowed everything, but I didn't get my choices. Or even my one option to kind of, choose which account it is.
Okay.
And it still looks like kind of how yours is, not connected, 0 account there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a little concerned. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
The one thing I can think of is Google recently changed a lot of their APIs, which is just a fun tech way of saying like the connections between Google and Command. Google changed their part of that, and it may not have caught up in Command yet. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that's the case. If not, today's a whole waste of your hour, and I apologize, but we won't know until we get.
Because of that, I know Google has a partnership with Keller Williams. Do they notify us or whoever when they're going to do? Okay.
When you're as big as Google, you just tell your partners to figure it out.
Hey, Sam, on mine, it says, let's see there's a button out to the side. It says manage account. Is that?
Oh yeah, if yours is,
normal?
yeah. Does yours say? Does it have a number underneath the number of accounts here? Like, does yours say connected with one account?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You're in better shape than I am then. Yeah, you're probably looking better than I am.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me try another account just to be safe here. I'll do my first one. Yeah, mine's still saying 0. Lisa, you may have to finish teaching the class here in a minute. We'll see how far.
Okay.
Hey, Sam. Yeah, I'm having an issue too on my end. The option comes up to choose the ad account number, but then I get something at the top that says ad network for this KWUID is not connected.
Ooh.
I just got
okay.
that same thing.
Okay.
All right. If you have an issue with your, read that for me one more time.
Ad network for this KWUID is not connected.
Okay. And just to verify, this is a stupid question, but were you using a personal Gmail account or a KW account?
Personal.
Okay. Okay. I would probably go ahead and put a ticket in with KW support then.
Okay.
Getting that KWUID, that's probably a bigger tech. I don't want to call it a bug, but there's something not connected inside your command account that should be.
Got it.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know how to put a ticket in, if you click this question mark up here in the top right, you can chat with support, and then you can just tell them your issue right here in the chat. And you can do that live while we're talking if you want. Cool. All right. All right. So fingers crossed that we're going to be able to move on. Again, I'm glad I'm experiencing some of the weird things that you may see as well. But Lisa, again, like I said, yours is probably looking like ours should. So you're in the lead. All right. So now what I'm going to do is fingers crossed that my account works. I'm going to go to, actually, let me switch my personal account here. Chris, are you on a team?
Yes.
I just realized that might be it. Switch to your personal account.
Okay.
Yeah, switch to your personal account. Your team campaigns may not be set up yet.
Okay.
So if you're on a team and yours is showing zero accounts, just switch to your personal account and do that same setting.
Oh yeah, I'm in there.
Okay, cool. All right. All right, so I think we're good now. We're going to go to campaigns right now, and that's the megaphone bullhorn icon. We're going to go to campaigns. I'm going to click on that button.
Okay.
And then let's open this up for audience participation. What button do you think I click next?
Create campaign.
All right, create campaign. Circle gets the square.
Sorry. Hey, Sam, I'm sorry I'm not there. Oh, wait a minute. It's doing something. Let's see.
Okay.
It's like bringing up like Office 365. I don't know.
Yeah, I think, are you still on settings? Are you on this phone? It loads the screen.
Yes, I'm there.
Cool. We moved on from here. We're going to click on campaigns on the far left. That's the bullhorn megaphone icon.
Gotcha. I got it.
Excellent. Yeah, you're with us now. Thank you. Cool. So from here, now what we're going to do is we're going to click the create campaign button in the top right-hand corner. When we do that, now audience participation, not Chris this time. What button do you think we need to click on the screen?
Google search ad.
Google search ad. Yeah, the center button right here. Cool. All right. So this is the part where it's gonna be fun again. I'm just gonna remind you all to take a breath here. We're gonna inhale together. We're just gonna breathe for a minute. Let's inhale and exhale. That's how breathing works. Inhale, exhale. Okay. All right. Now, what I normally see, especially my high Ds that attend my classes and jump into these things, they just like to click buttons and start typing. We're going to slow down. We're going to do top to bottom. Okay. Anytime you're inside of campaigns, if you just take a breath, inhale, exhale, work top to bottom. This is so easy. When you start clicking random things and bouncing up and down, this is where it gets complicated. We're just going to start top to bottom. So number one, we're going to enter our campaign name in. And this is totally up to you. You can name this whatever you want. You can even call this your first Google ad. If you get more precise on what you're going to call this, you can say, let's just pretend that we're going to target a particular territory today. Let's just call this Brookhaven. Or whatever farming area that you're going after. Okay. Now, let's see if you learned anything so far from today's class. What button do you think we should push next? Out of my goals, I have these 7 options. Which button should I push? What have you learned from me today about consumers and consumerism?
Attract buyers.
Hank, you get the gold star today. Attract buyers. Quite honestly, I don't know that this matters, but I just want you to get in the habit of clicking the attract buyers button, because this really, really matters on when you're doing Facebook ads. We're gonna click attract buyers. Then we're gonna hit create campaign.
Hey, Sam, maybe not right now, but at the end of the class, can you touch on how that changes your Facebook ads when you said it really changes things on that end?
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to, like when we stop the recording, we can talk about that. I got time afterwards.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. All right, now everybody panic. This is the part where we panic. This is the part where like we now create a Google ad and it's really scary again, right? I got you. I got
a quick question.
Yeah, Jim.
I'm on the create campaign screen and I got social ads, search ads, social posts, direct mail, email.
Yes.
What do I click there?
Click the middle one that has a G that says search ad.
Okay.
And then it's going to take you to name your campaign and pick a goal.
And then pick attract buyers.
Yep. Yeah,
Thank
don't skip the name because it's gonna yell at you if you do.
Yep.
And you can literally just mash your keyboard if you want for today, but
Got it. Thank you very much.
got it. And you should be here with me. Cool. All right, now this is the part where we panic, right? Okay, over here on the left-hand side, this is our workspace. This is where we're gonna see all of the creation of the ad. Over on the right, this is where it gets real. This is where we see a Google ad. This is the point right now that I'm gonna stop command for a minute. And you guys just listen to me for a second. Is there anyone that's gonna run an ad today? Like who's actually gonna hit the create button and do it? Cool. What area are you gonna target? What's your ad going to be about? Oh no, we gotta think. Here's what I love to do. This is why I love Google, because it's dummy proof, it's Sam proof.
Oh.
When I pull up these 3 buckets, how do I get a Google lead? Consumer hat. How do I get a Google lead?
Search.
Right, but what are people searching? What's a consumer doing?
Looking for homes in Grayson.
Yeah, so they're typing homes for sale in, you said Grayson?
Grayson. That's
Yeah.
my hometown now.
Yep. And you could literally copy and paste the same thing and put whatever area that you're going after. Just for continuity, because I did Brookhaven on mine, I'm going to do Brookhaven in here.
So it doesn't matter what, I mean, if we're not in Google, our competition doesn't matter, you know, by like, should we do a keyword search or not do that?
Yeah, so we're gonna get to that in the command.
Okay, sorry.
I'm gonna walk you through a little bit of an exercise here. But I want you to think about, okay, what is it that I want to go after? So if there's a farming area, like if I want to go after buyers and listings in Brookhaven, Grayson, Roswell, wherever, basically just go to Google and search that yourself as if you were a consumer.
Okay.
Take off that realtor hat, pretend to be a consumer for a minute. How would I get a Google lead? These are people who are going to Google and searching homes for sale or listings in, houses in, those keywords we're going to get to. But basically they're saying something in Brookhaven, Roswell, whatever. So I'm literally going to go to Google and click on that because I want to see the results. Now let's take a look at this really, really quickly. You can see that on Google, for those of you who are unfamiliar, this first result is an ad. This second result is an ad. This third result is an ad. This fourth result is an ad. How do I know these are ads?
Says that.
It says ads. It says it's an ad. For whatever reason, not every consumer knows that. They also don't look at that, or maybe they don't care. They just click on what's the top one. This is how we're going to show up. This is what we are creating. Now, let's be really, really fun here for a minute. When you look at these first four, tell me where there's the creativity. Like, tell me where there's a multi-million-dollar marketing team that put this Google ad together, because I don't see it. These ads all essentially say the same exact thing, right? And that's if you read them. Like, nobody actually reads these.
Oh, okay.
Right? So like it says Brookhaven homes for sale, Brookhaven houses for sale. Wow, so creative. You don't have to be here. This is literally where, like, this is why I love Google. I'm going to like basically plagiarize these. I'm going to take a look at the one that I like that maybe sounds like me, or the one that's just like I would click on, and I'm going to copy that. So Brookhaven homes for sale in Brookhaven. Like, it's like whenever I work with my 7-year-old on sentence writing, like that's how he writes them. Here's the thing that I want to point out though. Notice, and this is not by accident, you can see that these are hyphenated. Google's format is they give you what's called a title 1 and a title 2. So even though there's one line of copy here, or one line of text, it is broken into 2 parts. So now whenever I go back into command, you're going to see that I'm going to have a spot here that says headline 1, headline 2. And that's what I'm creating inside of Google, is this first half and then the second half. And like, I'm not joking whenever I say I'm going to literally plagiarize these. I'm going to copy Brookhaven houses for sale. I'm going to paste that into headline 1. Headline 2, I'm going to probably just go copy the second half of a different one. Free listing search. Copy. And paste that in the headline 2. So now that I've created that, you're going to see that my preview over here, my ad says Brookhaven houses for sale, free listing search. It's kind of too easy, right? Did I lose anyone? I'm not like, that's not to pick. I know this is your first Google ad. That's okay. Are we all okay with headline 1 and headline 2? How we got here? Okay. URL. What should we do? Pretend to be consumer. Let's go back to the ad I like. What happens when I click on this Redfin? Where's it send me?
Yeah, it takes you to Redfin.
Not only does
So
it
you,
take me to Redfin, it takes me specifically to the Brookhaven outline on their
right.
website, right?
So could we send it to our KW site?
Yep, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go to samjackson.com, samjackson.kw.com. I'm not gonna send people to my homepage, right? I didn't say search all houses. I specifically said search Brookhaven houses and use whatever territory you're using today. But in here, I'm gonna type in Brookhaven, Georgia.
Awesome.
And then now this up here, this link, this is where I'm gonna direct people to.
Awesome.
Copy that. And then when I go back to command, that's gonna be my URL. Now, do not worry. There is a 256 character limit. I have yet to run into that with what we're doing. This is gonna look like absolute chaos. Your ad will not actually look like this. It will not have all of this text when it goes live. Do not worry about that. It will get shortened. Okay. I know that this looks maniacal. If it were to go out like this, it doesn't. How we doing? Cool. All right, next. This is a sweet spot. Again, top to bottom. Display path 1, display path 2. Guess what? We get to skip those. We don't have to do anything with those. Don't do anything. Skip displays. We get to jump right to description. Now, where can I get inspiration for what to put in here for description? Who has an idea?
Sam, quick
Hey,
question.
Sam,
Oh, wait, a quick question. Yeah, good.
I was gonna say, what is the display path?
Yeah. So imagine I was sending people here. Let me copy this text real quick. So imagine I was sending people to samjackson.kw.com. Your display path would be like / contact us. You can see how that would build out up here. That would be like if I wanted to make it really, really clean, I could put my email or my website here, and then I could put like the hyphen or the slash. But you don't have to worry about that. Oops. Cool, that should be the right thing. Yep, okay. All right, see the skip those display class. And somebody else had a question?
Sam, where do I find on my website the URL? I'm sorry, I got behind a little bit.
Yeah, so you go to your website,
Uh-huh.
and then did you search into an area?
No, I did not. Okay.
You just went to your homepage?
Yes.
Okay, so from your homepage, just search whatever location you're looking to farm. So like I said, I did Brookhaven here. And then
Okay, got it.
it's just the website. It's the link up here. You copy that big bad boy.
Sam?
Yes.
I forgot I have a 4 o'clock appointment. Would this be recorded and sent out to us?
Yes, I did hit the recording button, right?
I'm sorry?
Yeah,
Yeah, you hit recording. I just didn't know if it'd be sent out to us.
yeah, it's
Thank you.
recording. For those that are watching from the Georgia Legacy Group, I'll send it out to you, and then I think I'm going to send this to Stuart, and then he'll get it out to Atlanta Partners.
Thank you so much.
I did find search an area. Tell me again where the URL is.
It's the website at the top. So it's the big long thing. So like mine says samjackson.kw.
Yeah, I just don't see that.
Yeah. Are you using Google Chrome or something else?
No, I'm using Google Chrome. Okay,
Is Zoom in the way? You may need to move Zoom out of the way. No?
no, but for some reason I am not getting, I see the map, and on the right side I see the houses that I did the search for, but for some reason I do not see the long URL at the top.
If
which
you
is
move your
strange.
mouse all the way to the top of the screen, does it get like expanded? Maybe it's just kind of hidden from view.
Maybe
You just want to kind of move
so.
your mouse around up top there.
Anyway, I don't want to keep any, you can move ahead. I'll figure it out.
Okay. Can you see the rest of your tabs though? Like, do you have other tabs open?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your URL bar should be right underneath of it. That's kind of bizarre.
And it's not. I cannot see a URL at all.
Okay.
Strange. Okay, thanks.
We can take a look at that after recording and everything.
Yeah.
All right. So most of us should have our website or URL in here. Next, we're going to go to description. So we're going to skip the display path. So we're going to go to description. And again, this is where I say this is really easy. We're going to rip off and duplicate. I'm just going to hit the back button a few times. I'm going to go all the way back to when I was Googling. If I wanted to get inspiration for a description, where might I look?
on those ads?
Yeah, I'm basically gonna plagiarize. Don't plagiarize because I'm recorded. But I'm gonna copy this. Go back into command. Now you will see that I have only 80 characters here. It is a little bit limited, but I'm gonna go ahead and paste that in. And I'm probably just gonna tweak it a little bit. So this says view 695 active listings in Brookhaven. If I wanted to be more accurate with that one, I could actually just go to my website and see what mine looked like. Sam Jackson, Brookhaven. So our websites right now is showing that we currently have over 1,000 properties in the Brookhaven area. Now, think about that as a consumer. Do I want to go to the website that has 1,000 active listings or the one that has 1,000? Or excuse me, 695 or 1,000?
1,000.
Yeah, view 1,000 plus active listings in the Brookhaven area.
Sam,
Yes.
what if our site only has like I typed in Ackworth area and it only has like 46 properties showing up? That probably wouldn't be a good selling point. So like, what else should I?
You can just get rid of the number. You can just say view active listings in
Okay.
the area. Yep. Cool. All right. But yeah, this is going to be a quick one-liner. And again, just go to Google for inspiration, see what other people are putting in. And the keywords, this is like the last part that we really need to be creative with. But for the most part, we're only doing 10 keywords. So think about this, like what would people search? Homes for sale in Brookhaven. Now I'm going to hit enter and you're going to see this log in. That's like, we're calling it a keyword, but it really it's a key phrase. How else might somebody say that? Houses for sale in Brookhaven. How else might somebody search that? Homes for sale in Brookhaven, GA.
Condos for sale?
Yeah, yep. I knocked out of it. Homes for sale.
What if someone does like homes for sale near me?
So that's where the next part comes in, where we're going to do geo-targeting or geographic targeting. So if you're looking to target that just generically, you can do homes for sale and make that your keyword. Or condos for sale. You could say luxury listings. Oh boy, if I could type. And again, you could go really, really generic with that. And then just allow the geo-targeting underneath catch the people in the zip code that you're looking for, or the area that we're looking for. If there's anyone here that's a specialist, like if you're doing REOs, bank owns, luxury, land, whatever, this is another really great place to set yourself apart. If you're out of creative juices because it's 4 o'clock on a Wednesday, middle of the week on hump day, just go back to Google and rip off others. Whenever I did that Google search, notice that when I did Brookhaven homes for sale is what I typed in, results for Brookhaven houses for sale came up. So it's another way of saying essentially the same thing and rephrasing it. So you can actually look at Google for inspiration, because this just basically tells you other companies are using different keywords but getting the same results. I'm being recorded, but like, wouldn't hurt. How many people accidentally type Zillow into Google instead of Zillow into the URL bar?
Yep.
Right. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to type in, I don't know, the 5 or 6 that I have remaining. Put in all 10 keywords. Make up keywords if you need to, but don't leave any like extras. Make sure you do all 10, okay? Once you're done with your keywords, the next thing that we're gonna do here is targeting. So locations. This is where you can be as specific or non-specific if you want. I can type in Georgia. That's an area. I could type in a zip code. What's your old zip code down there near Atlanta Partners?
30.
306.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say 30605.
30269.
32069.
Sorry. 30269.
30269. So you can do that by name of the city. You can do it by zip code. If you're gonna do it by zip code, you may just want to grab all the zip codes in the area that you're going after. So if I'm targeting Brookhaven, I'm probably gonna target Brookhaven zip code and all the zip codes around it. I can also just type in Brookhaven. Now that gets a little bit weird because there are 1,000 of them. I may need to get creative and type in Brookhaven GA, and then it gives me the real one. If any of you are advertising in Roswell, you'll notice that one gets really funny because Roswell, New Mexico pops up quite often, which is probably the more famous Roswell. If you have a more generic ad, you could literally type in the United States. I do not recommend that because you're gonna get leads all over the place. It's probably not your best ROI, but like if you work in a part of town that has a ton of relocation, United States is a pretty large target. Now just know you're gonna probably show up on like 4th or 5th on that list because there's gonna be a lot of big companies going after that. You're probably better to have a more smaller approach to this. Go with the zip codes, go with the towns. Okay. And then basically you just want to put a pin on the map and hit all the zip codes, or just go ahead and name all the cities. But just don't like just exhaust this. Put as many things as you can think of for your area.
So we can put in a county?
Yeah, let's try that. Let me do, just so I don't run into another county that's named this, let's do DeKalb because it's probably unique. Yep, you can do counties. There's probably several Fulton counties, which like this is where it's going to get probably hard to figure that out. You're probably better off just to do all the zip codes in that county. But if you had one that was unique like DeKalb, like I don't know there's a DeKalb anywhere else in the country than Georgia, you're better off there. Okay.
I was able to do the University of Georgia since it's nearby here.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, University of Georgia. Sweet. And you can run ads in other states. You can run an ad that's 100% talking about relocation instead of listings and go target people in New Jersey. I'm sorry, there's a question. Go ahead.
Is there an ideal number that you're looking for here? Like for me specifically, I was targeting just like a pocket, a neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so there's only 2 things that come up from my area when I'm typing in Lake Spivey.
No, and this is one of those things that like less is more, right? So when you start to get really, really narrow on your search, the odds of you competing against another company or another advertiser is limited. Normally, like companies like Zillow or like the results that we were copying, like Redfin, they're going after like the entire state of Georgia, and they're doing all the zip codes and those things. If you're just picking 2 and you're getting really precise with it, you're probably going to outperform them.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's okay to have 2 here if that's the area you're looking for. In some instances too, just to go back to keywords, Brookhaven may be too big of a search even. If you're looking to really farm a subdivision, if there's a subdivision that people search, feel free to put that in. Homes for sale in like Country Club of the South is an area that like we have a lot of people move into. It's a big country club. So you could target a subdivision if you wanted to. Now, what's cool is that Google is a pay-per-click, meaning that like I don't like you do pay your advertising up front. We're gonna talk about that next, but like your budget gets kind of like picked off as people click on your ads. So this budget will actually be pretty good because like you're not going to get nearly as many people clicking on a subdivision as you would all of Atlanta. So like your advertising money does go further. Okay. Targeting, we're good with location, gender and age. Don't mess with these. It's not worth it. This is us kind of being in line with fair housing. I leave this at any gender. And then for age, this is kind of backwards. You have to go through and select all of them. So I'm just going to hit the drop down menu and click every single one of these, including undetermined. You don't want to get in trouble, lose your license, or get thrown in realtor jail because you didn't want to advertise to people under the age of 24 or over 40. Not worth it. Okay. And then for this type of ad, the last button, we're just going to click on search network. I do not want to do both. I do not want to do display network. I just want to do search. That's this type of ad. We're showing up in the search network.
What's the display network, just for curiosity's sake?
Yeah, let me see if I can find an example. They're a little hard to find sometimes. Let me see if I do like donuts near me. Like sometimes that's like showing up as an ad in like these results, or like you'll see an ad in the white space over here.
On the map.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna do search, which is as a result. Okay. And then lastly, this is our budget. Oh, let me hit save. Don't forget to save. Our budget's the last thing here. I'm a big believer in the MREA. There's a little game that we play with advertising called red light, green light that Gary Keller talks about. It's totally up to you what your budget is. Now, the advice that I share here is that if you have a limited budget, or if you want to play with this for the very first time, give yourself $20 or whatever that amount is for you. And don't worry about spending a lot of money over time. Concentrate that $20 in just a handful of days. Anytime that I'm advertising online, I'm looking at, it's hard to see, this number right here, which is my daily spend or daily per channel spend. How much am I paying per day? How much am I budgeting per day? It makes more sense to take $20 and to advertise for 2 days to where like my daily spend is $10 a day, right? $20 divided by 2 days is $10 per day. It makes more sense to do that than to take $20 and spread it across 20 days, because then your daily spend is $1 a day. What that determines, let me go back to my real estate search. That's the difference between search showing up in the #1 spot and the #5 spot. If I have a higher daily spend, I'm going to pay more to show up at the top. Where if I have $1, Google's still going to happily take my money. They're just going to put me in 4th or 5th. Okay. So whatever your budget is, that's okay. Just focus on how can I concentrate the most daily spend. Now I'm a little bit out of alignment when I say $20 or $10 per day. Right around 5 is a pretty good spend. $5 per day. That's a healthy sweet spot.
And Sam, how do I change, like mine right now says we recommend 10 days at a $1. How do I change it?
Yeah. So your overall budget, like your total spend is going to be right here where mine says 30. I can click in and make that 25 or 250 accidentally. I can make that whatever I want to here. That's my overall budget.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
up here is your calendar date. So this is your start date and this is your end date. So this is starting on September 16th, ending on September 26th. If I want to increase my daily spend, I either need to change this from an end date of the 26th to like the 21st or the 16th to later out.
Like if I want to start Friday and go through Sunday, say 17 through 19.
Yep, you can change that.
I can do that. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, with a budget of $25 with those dates, that's $8.33 a day. You can probably decrease your budget at that point and get that down to near 5.
Okay.
And I'm looking, it's hard to highlight, but I'm looking at this right here. It tells me $5 a day for 3 days.
And so if I notice that I'm like number 3 on the list at $5, I might want to come back and spend more to get to that #1 spot, or kind of what's.
Thank you for saying that, because that's an interesting idea, right? Like I want to know how my ad's doing. Do not go Google your, don't try to go find your ad. Okay. That's only going to hurt. That's only going to cost you money, right? Like it's best, like every time that I do, like whether it's Facebook or Google ads or whatever, I kind of relate this to casino money. Like whenever I go into the casino, yes, I would love to turn this money into more money, but I also need to be okay, like knowing that I may not get anything out of this, right? I may take 20 bucks to the blackjack table and lose all 20 bucks. And I gotta be okay with that. Now, if I can turn that 20 bucks into 1,000, then that's a fun night. But I would say if you're not sure about this, go ahead and do a small budget for a small period of time and just see how it works, just until you get familiar with it. Ideally now, talk about realistic. Ideally now, whenever I was really thriving in Google Ads, we were spending about $250 a month on Google Ads.
How many different areas were you hitting?
So at that time I was in Pittsburgh, like it basically covered my whole city.
Okay.
We were in the southern suburb of it, which covered half, like Pittsburgh's basically north and south.
Okay.
We had the entire half of the city. And like Pittsburgh can probably fit inside of Atlanta probably 20 times. Atlanta's huge. So like you can get in those small pockets and do some pretty good damage.
So Sam, back up in description part is where I would actually write the ad, correct?
Yep. Or in my case, you rip off and duplicate. So description down here, it's limited to 80 characters. So you can do short and sweet. So mine says view 1,000 active listings in Brookhaven.
Okay.
And if you need inspiration, just go rip off and duplicate. Go to Google, basically type your ad in and see what other people are saying. That's this little, the non-bolded headline right here. That's
Okay.
You can get inspiration from others.
Okay.
The reason why I say plagiarize and copy or rip off and duplicate R&D, when you look at these, none of these ads are unique from one to the next. They basically all say the same thing.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Just to finish that up, like if everything's good, you filled in all the required fields, you hit save, you hit publish campaign, and you will get charged immediately. You'll see that right now I have 15 bucks going out to Google. I hit create campaign. My PayPal just got charged. That will happen immediately. Okay. And then I can see that immediately my ad is active. So once I've published my campaign, Command's going to take me back to this main overview page. And this is where I'll start to see those stats come in. Google is a little misleading now, because even though we're advertising on Google, this will remain saying that it's 0 leads. Why?
Because the lead captures your website.
Exactly. Yeah. Google doesn't have a lead capture itself, but if you've run an effective Google ad, you should start seeing leads that come in from your website. Command's going to show them as if they came in from your website. So pay attention to that. Like you may get frustrated when you see this and you're like, I spent 20 bucks. I got 0 leads. What the heck, Sam? Like, go ahead and send me that email. It's gonna be okay. I'm going to say, okay, let's take a look. Did you get any recent leads from your website? Because that's how they'll show up as website leads. We're clear on that?
So you would see them on your contacts. They would tag themselves as leads if they filled out the lead capture form on your website.
Yeah, so like inside of Command, and like you'll get an email when you get a new lead. So it'll say new website registration, I think is what it comes through as, but it'll be from KW. You'll get the bell notification in Command that says new lead. And then yeah, when they show up on your contacts or your leads, I'll click through to this one. I think this one says, where's my source? Oh, lead. So lead source, because Facebook ad, it says add lead. This would say, I think website registration.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Cool. All right. What questions do you have?
So when we get a lead from there, would they've actually signed up with their information, correct? Like filled out some information?
Yeah, they essentially filled out the contact page somewhere on your website.
Okay. So then we could just call them at that point and follow up with them.
Yep.
Okay.
So in the script that I would use with a Google lead, right? Because I was on my soapbox talking about how different scripts are needed for online leads.
Yeah.
Google is probably more traditional to like if you were to run into somebody at the grocery store and they said, hey, I might be looking for a house.
Okay.
You're going to be inquisitive. Hi, this is Sam Jackson with Keller Williams. Happy to get your information because you registered on my website. Just want to connect with you and see what you're looking for. Open-ended question. And they may hit you with the, Oh, I'm just looking. I have a response. I would love to hear. What's your response when someone says they're just looking?
Great. I love looking at houses too. What brought you to my website? What's making you look right now?
Perfect. Yep. Answer it. Another question. Me, I'm a little bit more cheeky with that. That's exactly what my website's for. What are you looking for? Like, it's exactly what my website's for, to look at houses. What caught your attention? What are you looking for? What's your timeline? Maybe another way to do that. But basically, I'm going to do this pre-qualifying type of script, or we're not saying scripts anymore legally, but conversation, dialogue that's more open-ended questions. I want to get to the point of what's their motivation, what's their timeline, what's their budget, if I can get that far.
And you did say, right, when you publish that link, that long link that we added, that gets shortened?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's my understanding. I've yet to see one that wasn't, but. Yep. If you don't trust me, that's okay. But do not go to a website shortener like Bitly or TinyURL. Google doesn't allow those.
Do you have a smart plan for these types of leads?
I don't. That's actually a great follow-up. You should. There probably is one inside the library now that I think about that. Smart plans. Why is my brain breaking? There you are. Yeah, let's take a look. And I went to the library and I'm going to type in Google. That one may be okay. That one looks like that one might be okay. I don't know what LPs are. LPs, Google and Facebook client review. Nah, maybe not. Hey, I'll tell you what, Hank, I'll work on it.
Great.
I don't imagine it's gonna be very different from the ones that are Facebook related either.
Right.
Just tweak those.
Probably start off a little more generic and then
Yeah.
narrow down.
Yep. I'll tell you what, I will do that though. I will add it to the library and I'll publish it underneath my name.
Awesome. Thanks.
For the sake of going too long here, I'll be brief on this one. Going back to the 3 buckets, you also gotta be mindful of timeline. So with your Zillow people, they're going to be most likely be ready to move kind of quickly. And I'm saying this with the mindset of smart plans, right? These got to be probably a little bit more aggressive than a Facebook ad. When people are going to Google, what part of the search are they in?
Active.
Very active, but the very beginning of their search. So generically, they're searching homes for sale in, and it could be North Georgia, West Georgia. They may not even know the specific city yet on some of them, if they're relocating in that case. So they're active, but they still may be 7 to 10 months out. But that's perfect. Like, I want to be 7 to 10 months out with every lead. And the reason for that is the closer they get to their research, which takes them closer to Zillow, we know that the likelihood of them getting gobbled up or using an agent at that point increases. At Google, they don't have an agent yet. Otherwise, they wouldn't be going to Google. So get them before they get representation. I don't care if they're 10 months out. I have somebody waving their hand saying, hey, I don't have an agent and here's what I'm looking for. Well, great, here's how I can help you. And what's great about these for the people that don't like to be salespersons or salespeople inside of real estate, you get to be an educator. Hey, I see that, you might be interested in homes for sale in Brookhaven. Have you considered other areas? Like, what's important to you about Brookhaven? Ask those questions. You get to take more of an education role with them. Cool. All right, what other questions do you have? Do we think we can do one? Like, are you leaving this class with confidence that you can do a Google ad?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Excellent. I'm going to drop my information inside the chat. I'd be happy to take a look at any of your ads or review, or, if you need any help, just let me know. Or if you're into the issue that you do get charged by Google a lot of money, let me know. We can work through that one. Yeah, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to help y'all. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, I have a question. Would you email us this video?
So Stuart will get that out to you.